This is video 5 of the Effective Child Protection course for child protection practitioners. Section 2 provides information about how to write a good change statement. This is part of the change element of the Effective Child Protection model. Having considered the information about how to write a good change statement, you will have an opportunity to review your change statement and further develop it in exercise 4. Before we look at the 5 principles for writing a good change statement, it is important to remember that the Effective Child Protection model is based on addressing the likelihood of significant harm. Effective Child Protection only focuses on identifying changes that directly deal with the causes of significant harm. If all changes are realised, the risk of significant harm should have been reduced, and the statutory basis for intervening in the private lives of families should have come to an end. Here are some of the principles of a good change statement. Not all will apply in every case. The first principle: make it personal. Think of the statement as being written specifically for that family. Make it a personalised or customised statement for them. It should reflect their unique circumstances. Use their words. Wherever possible, try to use the family's own words to describe the change. This is not always easy at the beginning of your work together. However, over time, a statement written originally by the practitioner can be rewritten as the family become more familiar with the work you are doing together. What is the effect on the child? A good change statement should show the effect on the child. What needs to change? The change statement should show clearly what needs to be different. Is it written clearly? Make it easy to understand. Try to avoid jargon. Not every one of these 5 principles will be relevant every time. Keep this in mind. Here are some examples of change or outcome statements that should be avoided. We see these often in assessments and plans. Domestic violence. Domestic violence is a label. It has no context to the case or the unique circumstances of the family. There are many other labels commonly used. For example, neglect, substance misuse, mental health issues, and parenting. This is another example of a commonly used change statement or outcome. Dad needs to attend a Caring Dads course. The statement, Dad needs to attend a Caring Dads course, is not a change statement, but a description of a service or activity designed to achieve a change. It should be avoided as it does not describe the change, but one method to achieve it. Ask yourself, is this a service, or is it what you're hoping to achieve? The intention of a Caring Dads course is not that the father attends a course, but that the intervention of attending the course and reflecting on his actions helps him manage his behaviour differently to avoid the consequences of arguing and physical violence at home. Ask yourself, what if such a course was not available at the time? Where would this leave your child protection plan? Or imagine that a father may have attended the course several times, but it hasn't changed his behaviour. So avoid describing services or interventions. These are not change statements. If we look at two change statements that describe the same circumstances, we can think about ways we can strengthen our own statements. Children not to be exposed to domestic violence is a change statement or desired outcome. You'll notice that it has the label domestic violence there as well. If we check against some of the principles of a good change statement, that they are personal to the family, that it's unique to them. But this change statement is very general. It should be written using the family's words wherever possible. And this isn't always possible even in the best written change statements, and we'll discuss this again. Acknowledging the impact on the child. Again, this example uses the label domestic violence generally, and the impact on the child is hidden. Indicating the behaviour that needs to change. I think it's quite difficult in the example statement to appreciate what specifically needs to be different, other than the fact that there should be no domestic violence. Avoiding jargon and easy to understand. Again, I think the label domestic violence here gets in the way of making the statement clear and easy to understand what it meant. So, children not to be exposed to domestic violence falls short of the principles of a good change statement. This second statement strengthens the first statement. It avoids using the label domestic violence, describes what is happening and what impact this has on the child. If we use the principles of a good change statement, this is personalised, written with the family in mind. It explains the impact on the children, describes the effects on the children and how they feel as a result. It is very clear about the behaviour that needs to change. It is written in an easy to understand way. I am sure this could be further improved. What would you add to strengthen it? If we look at another set of example statements, house kept clean and tidy is a general statement that could belong to any household or family. Is this clear to the parents what exactly needs to change? Again, if we check some of the principles of a good change statement, that they are personal to the family, indicating the behaviour that needs to change, avoiding jargon and easy to understand. This second statement strengthens the first statement. It avoids being too general and makes it clear to the parents how things need to be in the future. It is still a relatively brief change statement, and I am sure it could of course be further improved. There is a balance between statements that are too long and detailed in the change statement and being so brief and general that it could be written about many families or circumstances. Reflect on the information in this section. Having considered what makes a good change statement, how does this compare with what you thought that a change statement should include? Are you thinking of ways of improving what you may have written in the earlier exercise? Once you have completed Section 2 of the Effective Child Protection course, please progress to the next part, which is Video 6, Section 3, which looks at the what needs to change grid and how to complete it.